pretty smooth. Can't complain.
That's funny. But hey, what's up, people? We back again. Talking about Tank. You know, Kevin OG say it was very boring. I didn't watch it yet, but I will sometime today. You know,
I will tell you now, Swab. Just skip to the 6th round. Don't watch nothing else from the 6th round on, bro. Because you're gonna be mad.
Distance, from what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was the first 6 rounds. They just stood there barely. I think the first 2 rounds they barely threw 10 punches apiece that landed.
Wow.
It's one of those
first round. First round was three body shots, 2 by Roach and 1 by Tank. First round for 3 minutes. That's why I said it's not a typical Tank fight. I don't know what was going on.
Well, remember Tank changed trainers, right? Not to mention him and Roach, they sparred together for years. They, I think, it reminded me of Tarver and Roy Jones, right? How Tarver fought Roy through the amateurs, and Roy was just destroying people. And he met Tarver, and he's like, "Oh man, this guy knows everything I'm doing." Kind of same thing with Tank and Swab. You'll see an OU sort of fight. Like the way, Roach was blowing his punches. Tank with those great combinations, and I think again, Tank always has to build up in his fights anyway. But last night was kind of different, and I think it didn't take off until several rounds into the fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. T, what's the word, man?
What's happening, fellas?
Talking about the Tank fight.
I didn't even watch it.
That's funny. We got a draw in here. 2 people watched it, 2 people didn't. It's a draw.
The 2 people that didn't watch it on the same side. What did I? Just like the poster. Look how they do.
That's the state of boxing in 2025, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
You didn't, but hey, y'all didn't miss nothing. Trust me, you didn't miss not a thing.
So was it pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's on Prime.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Wow.
$80.
How much?
80.
Yeah.
What?
To watch
$79.99. So you might. I don't know why they do that. Just say $80.
Nah.
You know why they do it? Because people look at it like, oh, it's under $80, so I can go ahead and buy that shit.
And now it's so easy with Prime. Everybody has Prime. And you just we're so used to shopping that way. Oh, click, click, click.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it. By the time I hit the damn thing, it was too late. I might as well watch it. I thought about not getting it either. But I know.
Hey, and then the funny thing, it was on YouTube an hour later.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, no, you know what? It always is though.
Yeah.
That's why I watched it. That's why I watched it.
The right copy though, because sometimes YouTube just show like their head, and then it'd be like.
No, it was. I found the perfect copy, the exact copy that was on TV.
You get some of these foreign people who crack that code, and it's just like watching it on the regular joint. You just got to find the right people.
Yeah, but it's not like back in the day when people would go to movies and record shit.
Oh,
especially if it's a black woman. Oh no! Why you do that to my baby? Why you kill Samuel L. like that? No.
Getting bootleg CDs on the corner.
People walking in front of the screen. You hear popcorn crunching on the side.
People stepping on popcorn, like, bro, come on.
Yeah,
people
got the ice coming on the ice. Like, oh, thanks.
Hey, the era of the bootleg CD. Video man, boy, that was a great era.
Hey, it was the same thing with them. You gotta find the right one.
Yeah.
25, you have no clue on how we struggle. Pay for bootleg.
Wait. Let's even go back to remember when iPods came out and stuff, where you could select one song, you can buy one song. Back in the day, we had to buy the whole damn album or CD. Really? Like, come on, y'all spoiled. Y'all don't get it.
That little cube of like the small piece of a bathroom soap, and that's what you watching, and you think you really. That
kids nowadays
called that little thing. I like it. Oh, crap, but
I go back further. Have to wait till after 7 o'clock to make a phone call for free.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude. Or I'm sure.
Hey, bro. Call me. Hey, I will call you after 7. It's free after then. I'll click.
Or HBO and
For me, it was
WHC
after
was
9.
in the middle.
Hey, call me after 9. Call me after 9.
There you go. Before we really get started, man, let me I just gotta say this. R.I.P. to Angie Stone.
Yeah.
Condolences to her family, all her friends. Some of them I do know. That was a rough one. I've never really had to deal with that with an artist like that before. So just rest in peace. That's really all I can say. That was a tough one, bro.
To piggyback on that, one of my booking publicists worked for Angie Stone, and she called me right after I finished recording, and I did an interview with her. I guess about a year and a half ago when she dropped one of her albums. I think mid 2023, and we chatted before we recorded, and just a real kindred soul, just good people. And my brother was like, "Yo, you need to put that up." I said, I didn't, maybe I'll put it up today, but I just yesterday I was just kind of numb with it because it kind of hits home because my agent worked closely with her, and it's like, wow, it's like going to CIAA, driving up to Baltimore, to perform, and it's like I said, life, man. Between that and Hazel Dukes, hearing civil rights leader Hazel Dukes dying, and we only here for a short time, not a long time. So if you love somebody, give them a hug and kiss, because there's no guarantees. I know that's kind of cliche. We say that, but it plays out in real life. So salute to Angie Stone, one of the greats to do it.
Yeah. No, I knew her too, so that's why I said it hurt. That one hit different.
Yeah. Because she was on her way from one concert to another, right, or something like that.
Yeah, she was leaving Alabama to go to another show, and I guess the driver fell asleep or something, and they spun and got hit by a semi.
Yeah,
and out of everybody in the van, she was the only one that didn't make it.
Yeah,
that's sad.
Yeah, it is.
So, R.I.P. Angie. All right, go ahead. I didn't mean to bring the show down, but I just had to say that.
No, it was needed, bro. Needed.
Because we all found out at the shop. Somebody just blurted it out. We like, stop playing.
Yeah. Wife woke me up with it.
Yeah. R.I.P. to her. Real quick, we can give her a moment of silence.
No.
All right. Well, on a better note.
Yes, sir.
Joel Embiid. What happens with him going forward, y'all? Why are you laughing? What's
I said this in our other for those who are listening. Y'all can communicate with us weekdays on Clubhouse. I've said I think Joel Embiid is older than what people think he is.
You've been saying that for a while, and I'm starting to believe you.
Because I remember Mutombo people were saying because again, you born in a certain time in Africa, they didn't really have birth certificates. So people were saying Mutombo was probably 5 to 7 years older. Same with Manute Bol and some of these other guys. I really believe Joel Embiid might be 5 to 6 years older than what he is. He's probably like in his late 30s, maybe even 40. And it just because he's been going through this since Kansas. This is nothing new. He's been dealing with injuries and knee problems. I mean, he's a big guy, right? So I understand men that size, the body's not really designed for you for that type of pounding. But he's been dealing with this for a very long time. And I just think that I think Philly's doing the right thing. They really can't trade him. I know they even talked to the Knicks about him a year ago, but that's not happening. The best thing to do is just shut him down and try to find a way to maneuver his minutes because you're stuck with him. It's an Edsel that you can't get rid of.
Well, it's kind of like Kawhi Leonard too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we know that Kawhi is his age is his age. We know that,
We hope.
Wait. OG, let me ask you this. Where's Kawhi from?
Cali, side, right?
Oh yeah,
he's from the LA area, so you know.
Yeah. We hope. I have no idea what's going on with that cat neither.
Maybe Kawhi's after him.
But you know, the thing is that you know, especially when it comes to like knee injuries like that, when it's chronic, there's really nothing you can do about it. You know, just rest. You can continue to give them, you know, medication and shots and you know rehab. But once you're and this is just my guess on Embiid and probably Kawhi, it's probably like bone on bone right now. They probably have no cartilage left.
There's nothing left.
You know, and they still try to play. You know, which you know I give them credit for still trying to play, but sometimes you got to just look at it as like it may be time to hang it up. You know, but we all know how athletes are. We know how athletes are, right? They want to try to go until the wheels fall off. So
his wheels.
So at this point, what do you do? Because it's like you bought a lemon car. You can't take it back and trade it in. You can't really sell it because nobody wants to buy into all them problems. Well, so what do you do?
There's nothing you really can do. Again, except for give them the medical treatment that they require, the rest that they require. You know, and this is, and I will say this: I never really look at people and say, "Oh, you shouldn't do that because it's your dream." But when he went out when he made the Olympic team, I was like, you know, I mean, and the team couldn't stop him. There's no way they can stop him. There's no way. But I looked at that as like, even though he didn't play that much, still that little bit of
played enough.
And wasn't some of his teammates on Olympics was questioning some of his work ethic? I think that came out about, you know, some of his day-to-day. You know, because when you play with a team like that of superstars and greats, the hope is you pick up some good habits, right? Like, okay, how does LeBron work? How does Steph prepare? How does these guys, you know, these greatest athletes, and they all now in their plus 30s, they're older than he is. But it was a rumor that came out, and I don't know, I heard it from some report that people were like, damn, you know, his eating habits and some of the things he does to get ready for games. It's not like they would think from a superstar athlete. And I think, again, Joel Embiid is a great player, a superstar player who pretty much has played his whole career on one leg. So that shows the greatness of it. But I just think there's something that it's similar to Shaq, where some of these guys are just so great, but they just don't have the proper habits. And I think now we're seeing that. We see all right with Carmelo toward the end of Carmelo's career, like a great player, just the habits, and it catches up to you. Catches up to everybody, but these are superstar athletes. So you start seeing slippage when you're going against other great athletes. So I just think that, to your analogy, OG, when you have a bad car and you can't sell it, you strip it for parts. In a pro basketball mentality, an alternative, you're just going to have to pick your spots with them. Maybe you play him 60 games, 55. You don't do him do back-to-backs. And you try to –
can he play that many?
Huh?
He only played 19 this year. So
can he even play that?
You're not getting 60. You're not getting 60 out of him.
But maybe 40.
So here's what I don't like about this whole situation, even with Paul George. And I like Paul George. And again, I'm just guessing here because I've been in the rooms when people have done this before. When the doctors tell you that there's something wrong that could happen long term, front office, please listen to them. Some of these people in front office is like, well, you know what? Yeah, we understand what you're saying, but we'll work with him. He'll get better. But when they tell you no, that this is probably going to be, he could probably play, you know, have a good career for the next 2 to 3 years, and after that, or it can accelerate. Yeah. Some of these GMs and executives don't listen to people. So I will tell you this story real quick. I'll tell you this story. So we had this running back, and when we drafted him, we kind of knew he was going to be a little bit of a problem because he walked around with the ego, the whole deal, yada yada, right? Okay. So he had a couple good years with us. Well, I get a call from his agent. And his agent, and the guy was about to go in to sign a big contract. And his agent told me, he's like, yeah, so-and-so is like 25 pounds overweight. I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? We're about to sign him to a long-term contract. So I go in and I tell the powers that be. Okay. And I said, you cannot say where I got this from. Well, of course, they threw me under the bus.
Yeah, that's how they do.
So then our athletic trainers and our medical staff said, by the way, he's got this injury, and we're talking about the offseason right now. He's got this injury, he's got this injury, he's got this injury. Do not sign him to a long-term contract. They signed him to a long-term contract.
Now, to that point, you just said the team can't do anything about Embiid going to the Olympics.
Nope, they can't.
So that's not on the team. That's on him.
That's on him.
100%. 100%. So anyway, so hang on. So going back to my story, we got an offer for a trade to where your boys, the Cowboys, would give us a first and a third for him. And we turned it down. And everybody was just like, are you kidding me right now? So we go into the next season. What happens? These injuries flare up. And then 2 or 3 years after that, he's out of the league. And then, well, first of all, let me back up. So I left for Tampa. He was still playing with the Niners. He gets traded to another team. And I get a call from my guys in the locker room. They're like, yeah, so-and-so just got traded. Like, okay. And they're like, I said, how was the reaction? It's like, everybody stood up and cheered. And then I believe the next year he was out of the league. But again, some of these executives don't listen to the medical staff. The medical staff is there for a freaking reason.
True.
Yeah. So, okay. But the players got to listen to the medical staff too.
But here's the thing, though. If the players don't listen to the medical staff, and we go and tell the executives, the GMs and such, and they don't listen to us, that's on them. That's on them. But some of these GMs think that they're better doctors, or that they can fix this person, or that they have an ego because they drafted this person. So there you go.
Is that supposed to be illegal?
What?
Go ahead.
Where the GM is involved with the medical staff on playing. I know, like, obviously, that's why I use the quotations. Illegal to have that conversation when it comes to medical, when the doctors.
No, because that is your player.
So if a guy gets a concussion, he can't go back until he's cleared, right? Medically, right?
Right. Yeah.
The team can't say get him back in like old days, like just doing how many fingers. So it's not the same with the, like when you're breaking down medical records and stuff like that. It's a little different.
It's different.
Wow.
It's different because so again, going back to this certain player, they said, look, because again, that person was under contract at the time and we're about to give him a contract extension. So everybody that has something to do with it, on the football side, you have access to people's medical records through the doctors. The doctors gives you the medical information because you have to make evaluations. You have to, get ready for the draft and free agency, the whole deal. You have to have those. You have to have all that information so you can make the right decisions. And again, some of these people just don't make the right decisions.
You know what, T? Yeah. You know what? You're correct. Because I'm just thinking. I just heard something yesterday about how the Jets were mistreating Jordan Travis, and his agent came out and said because the GM and the head coach was on the hot seat, they tried to rush him back, and he wasn't ready. So you're absolutely correct because that's the same kind of thing that he went through. With the Jets.
Well, and think about this, and I mean, OG, you made a point. It's like it's on the players as well. Well, and I don't know if you guys heard that report about Kirk Cousins, where his elbow was bothering him throughout halfway through the season, and he didn't tell anybody. And I'm just like, so of course, when the report came out, people start pointing fingers at the medical staff. Well, if you're asking the player the right questions and they don't give you the right answers, that's not on them. That's on the freaking player.
Won't do, right? They won't do that. Yeah.
Right.
But in this Embiid case, if you knew he was hurt as an organization, and I just gave him $100 and something million extension, before the Olympics. How are you able to go somewhere and you cannot play for me and I'm paying you? Isn't that a void of your contract?
No, it's not. No, it's not, because you have to have it in your. It has to be in your contract.
And they're union employees,
right?
But you're hurt, right, going to do something else that you cannot do for a team that's paying you.
Well, but here's the thing, though, and I guarantee you, I will put everything that I have that this happened, because actually, so the athletic trainer for the U.S. Olympics, he's a good friend of mine. He worked with me at the Niners, and he works for the Clippers now. They called, and I'm not saying that I got this from him, but I know this happened, though. They called Philadelphia. Steve Kerr called the head coach, called the staff at Philadelphia and said, hey, we want to take, Embiid wants to come out. We want to take him. Give us your blessing. And they probably said yes.
Yeah.
They probably said, go ahead.
Because remember, when was the Olympics? In July?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was pulling that leg over his shoulder against the Knicks 2 months earlier. Remember, he had Bell's palsy and he had the leg issue. And I'm like, my goodness. But I mean, I guess, he's the superstar, and I guess he's got people that don't want to say no to him.
Right. But also too, and I don't know if this went into the thinking of USA basketball, whatever it is, but remember, he had a choice. He could play for the US or he could go and play for France.
Right.
Go play for France.
He took a lot of heat from the French for that.
Oh, heck yeah.
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 I don't get it. I mean, if you're already hurt, what's the point? You got a gold medal, but now your career is over. Yes, you got paid. I get it. But if you love basketball, you totally messed everything up.
That's the key, some of these guys, and I'm not saying this about Embiid, I'm not passing any judgment on him, but some of these guys, once they get that second contract, and the way the NBA is set now, it's like, if you're a franchise player, you're gonna pretty much stay with your team unless they really don't, unless you're a bust, because they're gonna be able to pay you the most money. So some of these guys just like roll the credits. The movie's over. I've made it, and I'll go to the French Riviera. I think that's why Paul George took a lot of heat with the podcast, and that's why he pulled back, because I think he felt that heat, especially in that city where they, this is a blue collar city, Philadelphia. So it's like, wait a minute, you're taking all this money and you're acting like a superstar, but you don't play like a superstar in the hardwood. So I just think that, the NBA, I think I think it's a generational thing. I think we come from a different generation where guys, they want to be the best. Like the contract was the contract. I got paid, but I want to be known as the best. I don't know if all these young kids today have that same giddy up with them.
They don't.
Okay.
So I was gonna say real quick, is like not all kids are like that, but there's a majority that feel like they're entitled.
Right.
So do you feel that the next contract negotiations, quote unquote, coming for the NBA, they might want to put that in the contract that the team has the final say so on stuff like that because of the Embiid situation?
Nope.
They have to fight the union. They're trying. What they do, like 65 games for the awards. That is predicated on how you get your Supermax. So they've tried to do things to encourage more play. But again, like, hey, like, all right, I mean, not that I'm in that boat, but I guess if somebody says I'm making $100 million or making 125, it's not going to change if I eat porterhouse or not. So I guess some of these guys just move differently. And again, it's just a different era. I mean, good.
Yeah, no, I was going to say real quick, to your point, OG, though, it can't be the league. Each contract is by each team.
Okay. I mean, the team league.
No. So it's different because each contract is unique. There's no boilerplate for contracts. So I'll give you a good example. We had a linebacker. Love the guy to death. His first contract, what does he do? He goes out and buys a motorcycle. He gets off the lot. He crashes the motorcycle. His next contract, we threw that in there, saying, there's certain things you cannot do during the off season.
Okay. So it's up to the team, not the league.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Okay. So if that's the case, why teams don't use that? For those type, because in that case, when I gave him that extension, that would have been in there, bro. If you cannot play more than such amount of games for me, do not do nothing else off the court, or this contract is null and void. But point blank, period.
But you have to look at it though too. Okay, now you're taking away from USA basketball. Okay,
but you're taking away from $190-something million I just gave this man.
But the thing is though too is that, and again, I'm kind of guessing here. Philadelphia gave the okay for him to go and do that. Okay. There's certain things that you can put in a contract, and there's certain things you can't put in a contract that people are going to be like, nope, I'm good. Somebody else will take me. I'll go someplace else.
And I'm sure, because this is a collaboration with the NBA Union, Players Union, and USA Basketball. I'm sure somebody reached out to Philly and listen, wink, wink. Is this okay? I don't think they want a situation where the team is like, we can't stop you, but we don't want you doing that, and the player does it. That's not a good look for USA Basketball, anybody. So I think, it was the wink, wink. And maybe Embiid looked at it. I'm just throwing out a dart. Maybe looked at it like, hey, you know what? I got my MVP. I want to be an Olympic gold medalist. I ain't win no championship anytime soon. So maybe it's just something to put on my mantle. I don't know. Maybe it was a selfish move. I think it was personally, but it's not good for teams,
Well, But also too, think about this. Think about the roster that they had. And Embiid was like, of course, we all know everybody talks, right? So Embiid's looking at this like, well, shoot, you got KD, you got Steph, you got this. I want to be a part of that.
I get it.
Piece to the ego.
I get it, but at the same point, you're not in the league to play for U.S. basketball. You're in the league to play for the Philadelphia 76ers that drafted you, even though you had these problems in the beginning, and they still gave you extension after extension. So, I'm just speaking from me. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I owe that organization everything. So why would I do that just for a piece of metal?
Because people are selfish. Some people are selfish.
And we're talking about multi-millionaires at that. They take care of us.
No, but I get it. But that at some point, to stop a multi-millionaire, you have to hit them in their pocket with the money. That shit stops when you affect money.
But you know what? To that point, if Philly don't give it to him, somebody's gonna be crazy enough to give it to him.
Exactly.
Well, hey, I'd rather somebody else than me have to be on the books for it.
No offense. Could have been New York. No offense, kid.
Thank God.
They would have been like, bet, come on down, dog.
They before they went after Cat, that was something that they've always had a fascination with Embiid. I'm like, I understand the greatness, but it's just like it's a pipe dream because he's not on the floor enough,
Yeah.
See, but I wish New York would have gone after that, and Cat would have stayed in Minnesota.
Well, sorry about that.
So, and I'm gonna get off this after a while. Now, as a Philly fan, I would be pissed.
Oh, 100%.
We know one. I'm sure.
No, and I get it. But you're giving up almost 300-something million to two people that's not giving you more than 65 games.
Look at Philly's in that process era. They missed on Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons was a bust. So I mean,
what's his name? Fultz.
Yeah.
Don't forget the point guard that wouldn't shoot.
Yeah. So
I still don't understand that one though.
Baseball players get it. This is like, I remember like a guy, Steve Sachs, that played with the Yankees. He got in one of the pitchers from the guy from the Cardinals, hurt him with a pitcher. He changed positions to outfield because he couldn't throw no more. I don't know. It's a mental. No. I don't know. Maybe you know better, Terrell.
Jim, what's Jim's last name? But yeah. But yeah, so it's called, they call it the yips. Well, after a while, it's mental. You can't even throw properly. But but guys like that, they're just like, make me a DH. I'll go do something else. There's other positions. But what we're talking about here. Again, organizations have to they have to let their egos go. they have to do better evaluations, you know. And here's the thing, and I'm not sure what Philadelphia's was when they drafted Fultz or, you know, whomever. I mean, because that draft wasn't weak in my opinion. But some people like, I have to make a splash, so this is what I'm going to do. Sometimes common sense works. It's right there, you know.
That was Colangelo's son, I think, was the GM then. Jerry Colangelo's kid was with Philly when he was drafted. Because again, they people were saying, why not take Tatum out of? Because folks had a great year at University of Washington. He was an electric high player, so they thought he could go perfectly with Embiid and the way Ben at that time was dishing the ball. But you know, Tatum was the more safer pick. But they want, you know, again, the GM outsmarted himself. Oh, I'm going with a freshman that just played 1 year on the West Coast that I feel is dynamic, and then the man couldn't shoot.
Well, but you think about this too. Who had the next pick, and who skipped over Tatum?
Oh, who was 2 in that draft?
The Lakers. The Lakers.
Yeah, but they picked Lonzo, right?
Yeah. But come on.
But you know that. You know why though?
Yeah, Magic. Because he's a hometown
that
dude.
Was Magic's pick.
No, Magic.
Yeah, but still,
he thought he would be the next Magic.
Yeah, but he was the hometown guy too. So there's like
no, but the hometown didn't have nothing to do with it. It was that Magic wanted a dynamic point guard, and he was the most dynamic point guard and at that time coming out.
Sorry, no.
I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm just saying. It had nothing to do with hometown, nothing. That's what I'm saying. That's what it was based on.
No, but hometown had something to do with it as well, OG. Because if you think about it, the Balls were like the big family, right? In their hometowns, they're like, okay, we keep it here, yada yada yada. But I'm just but here's my thing too. You know the drama that's going to come with that. Some people overlook all that stuff and until it hits them in the head like a freaking fastball in the eyes. It's like, I should have saw all the red flags, but hey, you know, it is what it is.
The Ball family was on top of the world back then. They were doing reality shows on all the sports talk shows.
I mean, on everything.
Ball was top of the food.
But see, let's clarify that. The father was on everything.
Yeah.
The sons, you just saw them in the series, but his father, that's what I didn't understand. Now that part I didn't get. Why is the father doing all the interviews when he's not even going in the league?
And you're right. You know what? And I knew that it had gone too far when he was on Lip Sync Battle. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Listen,
you got this idiot on Lip Sync Battle.
Yeah, internet sensation.
Family though, you know, he was the one doing all the talking.
Yeah. Especially when he said that he could take Michael Jordan 1-on-1. I was like, dude, you really lost your mind. Like some like the
crazy like a fox.
How long? Okay.
Some shoes.
You say what?
Are they even selling the shoes?
He's back with the shoe line, I think. Now, God forbid. I mean, the man just lost one of his feet. Lost a foot. So I mean, people, I know that they haven't said what it was. Some people are saying was a circulation.
Stop, OG. I couldn't even look at you.
These niggas, they said the diabetes, but nobody knows he had diabetes. It was an emergency surgery. So like, could it have been a clot from the shoes? I mean, listen, I don't know.
Come on, man.
Stop, Kim. Stop. Stop, Kim. Stop. Stop.
Next topic.
Why y'all laughing? I mean, listen, nobody. They have not said what the reason was. That's what I'm saying. Like you can get, if you have bad circulation, you can have issues with blood circulation and.
See,
I get. I'm not laughing at that, Kim, but you can't go from he got a new shoe out to he only got 1 foot. You cannot put them two in the same sentence back to back. You cannot. That's where I lost it. I'm sorry.
Now you got Chris in the comments talking about shoes half off.
I'm not going there. I need my I ain't going. I'm a big fan of LeVar Ball.
Then you got Minister talking about LeVar couldn't get him on his best day. Come on, man.
So wait a minute. So does when he orders it, is it 2 right shoes or 2 left shoes?
Nope. Next topic. Switching gears.
You get half off and you get a left shoe only.
Switching gears.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. That's what
why'd you go half off?
I was like,
half off.
Y'all mean.
Wow.
Big shot to LeVar Ball. Get help.
1 box, small box, less material, half off.
Now he 5 toes down. Come on, man. Y'all got Chris, we already talked about Tank.
One love.
Fight that didn't exist.
Get on the good foot.
Get on that 1 foot.
Yeah, wow. All right. Yeah, we really switching gears. Come on, man. Hey. You go to Washington, man.
Hey, I just want to see him do the electric slide one time.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not gonna happen.
Hop to the left. Hop to the right.
Can't.
1 hop this time. 1 hop 1 time. Oh, I don't have that foot. My bad.
My bad.
What do you think about Debo going to your division, man? Oh,
hey, I told you that was on the list, right?
It is what it is.
So, all right.
It is what it is, bro.
My question is, though, could this be one of them situations? Be careful what you ask for.
Well, I think so. Well, I mean, the thing is that the Niners got a 5th round draft pick for him, and then some contract. Say again.
I said that was crazy. I was like, damn, that's
well, you got, but
I know injuries and whatnot, but
see, and that's the thing. If they would have traded him like last year or 2 years ago, it probably would have been a 2nd or a 3rd. Yeah. But with everything that's going on, that's why they got a 5th, and I think there's some contract stuff that was going on. They almost got what's the old cat's name? Jonathan, the D tackle as well.
Oh,
Allen.
Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen. Yeah. So they almost got that, but it didn't work out, and I think it's because of contract stuff like that. But again, you're in a good situation. In my opinion, you're in a good situation.
Talking about Debo.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and you ask for a trade. And again, this is just my opinion on it. It's like you're not the big dog anymore. So it may have hurt his ego. So now he's going to a team where he's not going to be the number 1 because Scary Terry's going to be the number 1.
And then you got the other boy, number 2. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I forget his name. His name is escaping me, but he came on in the playoffs for them.
Yeah. So
the other receiver, yeah.
But maybe Debo felt like he needed a restart for whatever reason. But let's see.
I'm sorry, T. The thing with the
NFL, I said go ahead.
The thing with the NFL, which I think again the older I get, the more I think more like a management person than a player, is that you have these windows, right? So when they re-signed Ayuk last year, it kind of was the writing on the wall for Debo. And I think the injuries and things like that, I think San Fran wanted to take one more crack at it, and the injuries just didn't work out. I think he gets a fresh start. And I think the way he was really effective with the Niners, where they put him in the backfield and they put him in, he can do that now in Washington with a running quarterback and with those receivers. He can now be more of the X factor, the Travis Hunter of the
Swiss Army knife.
The Swiss Army knife. Right. He can be that. And I think that's when he's at his best, when he can do
it. He said he didn't like that, though. He didn't like
exactly.
Well,
exactly.
New team, sometimes new teams, new mindset, a little bit of humble pride.
He didn't want them to start trying to pay him as a running back.
But he's not. But he's got his money, so he ain't getting. The big contract is done. So now it's about just winning a Super Bowl, I would assume.
But you know what? But going back to that, so when they went back into contract negotiations with them, they put those incentives in his contract,
right,
as a running back.
Right.
So what are you complaining about? You know,
could it be the organization wanted to move him also because they know they got to pay Purdy?
No, they wanted to keep him.
Well, you know how it is when that's your main piece. You know, when like, hey, listen, how you going to do this to me? Now you go somewhere else because you're not with the main piece no more. As a side piece, you act a little different. I just think that they the team that drafted him. He felt like he was owed something. In my opinion, that could be wrong. He was owed something, and now it's like
laughing at your side piece analogy.
Well, yeah. I didn't want to go there. That goes down.
You went from the main chick to the side piece. Yeah, that's a downgrade. I
need to get slapped in my head. But from a football perspective, maybe he feels like, hey, you know what? Now he's not the guy anymore. So it's like, okay, well, you're going to have to fit in. So I think, again, I mean, he said on different podcasts he wants to win a Super Bowl. So this is a great opportunity. You got a team that got to the NFC Championship game. You add him, and they'll get better in the draft. And you think about where this franchise from the Dan Snyder fiasco is. And remember, it's the same owner for the Sixers, the same owner for the Commanders. But he need to take some of that Commander magic and move with the Philly. But that franchise has got is a different appeal, very similar to how Houston's appeal changed overnight. So I think Washington's going to be a pretty good team. I mean, I think, again, they've gotten stronger. I think Frisco will find a way, some good receivers in the draft. Shanahan's a great coach. I think, obviously, they're re-signing Purdy. So they made their commitment to him. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think he just had to go because Debo was starting to become a problem with the communication and stuff. I mean, this better than anyone. You get in that locker room, it's like, if you got guys with their opinions, it's like maybe just this ain't the place. And I think San Francisco's that type of program where, like, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here.
But here's a couple things. Number one is that we've had our share of divas when it comes to wide receivers.
Talking about Debo and the Niners.
Yeah, Debo goes on that wall, plain and simple. He goes on that wall. But also too, he's going to the Commanders, who has a head coach who is similar to Kyle. There's no gray area with Dan Quinn. Right. He's going to tell you how it is. So if you can't handle what Kyle was telling you, now you're coming over here to Dan, right. And you got to remember too, Kyle coached under Dan for a long time. So they're similar. So do you think that things are going to change? No.
But kind of wouldn't it? Because the head coach is not the offensive guy. So you don't have to see him all the time.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does, because Dan Quinn is a hands-on guy. He lets his coordinators do their thing, but Dan Quinn is a hands-on person. He will see him, especially if it's somebody that needs a little bit of adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get the adjustment part, but what I'm saying by see him is in the meetings. No, that's what I'm saying. He's an offensive. You're coming from a head coach that deals with your offense.
Yeah.
Now you're dealing with a defensive court. You're dealing with a defensive-minded head coach. That's why I said you don't see him as much. That's the only reason.
Yeah, but you have to think about this too, though, and you're right, because Kyle was the offensive coordinator, but Dan will go to each meeting every day. He will go. But he again, if he senses that somebody needs a little bit of attention, Dan will make sure that he will see him.
Oh no, and I get that part, but coming in and sitting in a meeting I think is a little different than going to a meeting with the offensive coordinator that can just sit at and get at you every minute of this meeting instead of the coach coming in, going somewhere else. That's from my opinion. I think it's you have a little break. But if that was the problem,
you'll have a little break. But a guy like Dan, because he's such he's a defensive guy. Yeah. He will go sit in whatever meeting whatever he chooses, and he'll ask questions from a defensive standpoint in an offensive meeting. I mean, but those are good head coaches. That's what you're supposed to do. You know,
No,
it doesn't matter what side of the ball you come from, right? So yeah,
right.
So, yeah.
No. I get what you're saying.
No, you're right. But no, you're right.
Yeah.
He's not going to see Dan as much as he saw Kyle.
Yeah, and in my mind, maybe that was a problem because now you get to get criticized and critiqued every day in this meeting. Except when the coach comes in, yes, you can ask a couple of questions, but he's not sitting in there every day. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said I think it's a little bit different.
But here's the thing. Again, you may, and I will tell you this because I saw this firsthand. We were at training camp, and everybody was wearing. You're supposed to wear a certain kind of, workout equipment. Whatever it is. Well, Debo decided he was going to come out and wear something different, and they're like, no. And him and Kyle got into it right on the field.
Them damn purses.
Yeah. And Kyle's like, no.
Come on, man. Here you go. Yeah. Here you go. See, we was doing.
He came to warm-ups in a leather skirt.
Yeah, he came out there in a kilt. Yeah, he came out there in a kilt. So,
did he really?
No,
he didn't. Oh, I was just saying.
I'm messing.
Oh, hell no.
That ain't gonna fly in Washington. He better change.
Boy, if you just said yes, I would have got off. If you just said yes, he would have killed the. I'd have been like, I'm done. I'm out. I love y'all, but I'm gone. I cannot after that.
We just would have stopped the show for the day.
But but the thing is that Kyle says, look, we have a certain code that we follow, and he didn't want to follow it, and Kyle's like, and Kyle's like, I ain't the one to be messing with right now, and set him off the field.
Yeah, but see, I mean, that's what I mean. Like something like that, that's still gonna carry to the meet because you still got to see this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I was saying that. But I get what you're saying.
So real quick, Minister Van question is Debo having the TO effect?
I don't think he's as good as T.O.
No,
I mean, he's a good ball player, so I think again, at this stage of the game, at this stage of his career, the trade, you got to fall in line or this is it. You're not Terrell Owens is a special player. Now, that's not a knock on Debo. It's a great talent, but he's not Terrell Owens. So my thing is like, I think here in Washington it's different when it's your last stop. When you have control, you act different. I don't think he has that type of control here. Very similar to Diggs when he went to Houston. I don't think he had that type of control. So I think it's the same with Debo. You got to just I got to play ball. I don't have that luxury of coming in here with different apparel on or being a distraction because they're going to ship my ass out. They're going to release me. You got to trade for a different round pick that says something.
Yeah. Well,
but wouldn't it be?
Go ahead, OG.
Isn't it kind of different when you come in with the mindset that you are the number one? And then you're going to another situation where you might be the number 3.
You know what? Some of these guys still have their ego. So I will tell you this because Minister Van asked about the TO effect. When we released Jerry Rice, which was again dumb, stupid, idiot, T.O. became the number 1. We saw as soon as that happened, we saw the change in the locker room. Especially around the wide receivers, because everybody started saying, well, T.O. acts like this. We can act like this too. We had an undrafted free agent who got in my face when I said, no, you got to lift this way. He's like, no, I'm going to do this. I was like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Well, T.O. doesn't do it. I said, you're not T.O. So I got a feeling this is good.
That was dumb to say. If I was that was dumb to say to begin with.
And plus, you know me, I got attitude regardless. It doesn't matter. So, I walk in.
But
especially if it's early in the morning, I got an attitude. So it's like, dude, I'm tired. You want to come? You're an undrafted free agent, and you're gonna please come on now. But
to Minister Van point, he's talking about from the outside noise, not so much as a receiver, just the diva and transfer the locker room. You think they are similar?
Oh God, yes. But and I don't know. And again, I don't know who's worse because I've been around Debo a couple times and I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. Yeah, but I was around T.O. all the time. I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. He and I did not get along. Even though we had the same first name, we did not get along. We did not get along.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but see, there's got to be something going on. There's got to be, and I'm not blaming Debo, but there's something going on because I just heard this morning when I woke up, the Niners are open to trading Ayuk.
Damn.
So yeah, so there's a kind of attitude that's going on inside that little group that Kyle's like, we're not having it.
I know Jaden, like you sent the wrong one to Washington. I wanted the other one. Like, just a bit.
That's a cleansing. If he's on the block too, they want to clean that whole thing out.
Yeah. Because again,
we got young guys there that they don't want to get corrupted. Obviously,
there you go.
Yeah.
To Terrell's point, to the same point Terrell just made. You know, hey, he doing it this way. I'm gonna do. Well, you're not him.
And like I mentioned earlier, that's a franchise that they believe in themselves as a franchise.
Yeah.
They're not going to kiss the ring for anybody. So
Tom say get Ayuk to Minnesota.
No,
that's Tom.
Can I ask?
Enough receivers. He's embarrassing the riches. I mean, receivers you want.
You can never.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Didn't you just give both of these cats a contract?
Yeah.
You just gave Ayuk a contract last offseason.
Yeah.
But you gave Debo one the year before, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So why not just get rid of him then? Why pay him and then get rid of him?
Well, because
they traded for Trey Lance. We don't talk about that either. The same things happen.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But also too, I think, you know, when they gave him the contracts, that they weren't, again, and I'm just guessing it, their egos weren't as large as it was. But once they signed that deal, started seeing some different things.
Wasn't he in a nightclub that year in Miami when they got the bottles and they had to sign Trey Debo?
It was in LA. It was in LA.
Yeah. LA. I thought it was Miami. Yeah, they had to sign. You know, but listen, sometimes you gotta make tough decisions as a franchise, and I respect it.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying you just gave him a contract, and the next year you're trying to get rid of him. Why? I mean,
well, because
it can also be 49ers thought they were in their season for a Super Bowl, right? So you're trying to win. So you say, hey, let's keep all our guys together. I think that's why they really signed Ayuk, because remember they asked Ayuk to go out and search for a deal before they re-signed him. I think at this point now, we're like, hey, we got to pay Purdy. We got some transition. Let's clean that out. Let's go younger, you know, because Shanahan's a guy that believes that as he should, I can put anybody in that position and make them durable and win games. So that's a great thing to be. I mean, whether that's right or wrong and different, he's got the resume where he's taken guys from the abyss and made them into great players. I think that's part of it. I think that their window is not what their window was 2 years ago.
But the window is still open. They still can, you know, at least compete for a Super Bowl. But again, I just think that, you know, and then Kevin, I think you're right. I think they're looking at it like, you know what, you're affecting the young guys that we can't have this. Because now you're splitting the trend, you know. Again, you know, when T.O. was there, the way that he was affecting some of these young guys in the locker room, it wasn't a good thing, you know.
So both receivers are hurting the young receivers. That's what I'm trying to get at. You get rid of both of the guys that you signed back-to-back years that's supposed to have been your be-all. Now all of a sudden you're trying to give them away for a bag of chips.
Well, no, sorry, Ayuk won't go for a bag of chips.
He's coming off injury, correct?
I don't think he's going to be in a 3T.
I think he'll go for a second or a third.
I wouldn't trade him for a second. I wouldn't trade him for unless you put like maybe
no.
Somebody will if they're open to trade him. Because think about this. The only reason why they're open to trade him is because people have been asking. People have been calling. And they're like, so what are you willing to give us? You know, if people were calling and say, oh, we'll give you a 4 or 5, they're like, nah, we're not open to trade them. But if somebody's calling and say, I'll give you a second, You're like, well, wait a minute.
But that would be before the end. That would be before last year, right? Because I'm not giving you a second for somebody that didn't play no more than 7 games.
But see, the OG. What some people look at, they look at what they have left in the tank. That's what they look at as well.
That would happen.
I'm not saying that's right, but that's what some people look at. They look at the talent because we know that Ayuk is younger than Debo. The wear and tear is less than what Debo has.
So if you trade Ayuk, you got to be a team that feels you're a receiver away from winning Lombardi.
Yes.
So that's like maybe 3-4 teams. If we go through, I don't know where would he go. I mean, who's like right there at the.
Well, you look at Pittsburgh.
But are they right there to win a Super Bowl if they got Ayuk?
They have no quarterback.
They have no quarterback, right?
But they think in their minds, and I'm guessing here, they think in their minds that if we had a wide receiver like Ayuk, we could have gone farther.
Maybe Buffalo. I'm just trying to throw names out.
It's possible, yeah. That's possible.
Miami maybe feels that way. Because it wouldn't make sense to go to Carolina, right? Because they're not ready. So it have to be a team that says, you know what, if we're gonna give it into your scenario, we're gonna give a 2. It's gotta be like, yo, we got the missing piece to go. Where's Super Bowl this year?
It's out here. It's out here.
Oh, Frisco, right? We got enough to bring him home for a Super Bowl win, right? So that's
but even that, Kev, and even in that thinking, just like we was talking about a B. If I know you just came off an injury, regardless if I'm a receiver away, I'm not giving you up a second.
I wouldn't either.
I'm not.
I wouldn't either.
But you.
T, I understand there were teams that would do it. I do get it. But I'm saying if I'm a GM, I'm not giving up a second round for somebody that didn't play no more than 7 games. I can't.
But you have to look at it this way though too. ACL injuries aren't as bad as they used to be.
That's fine. But I can for the second round pick that I'm gonna give you for IU, I'm gonna get a receiver out the draft.
But are they going to be as good or as seasoned as him?
At this point, I get what you're saying, but at this point, I would rather deal with something younger than deal with something that's been broken.
That's why,
regardless of how good that player is, as a GM, I can't do it. That's just me personally. I couldn't do it.
So let me ask you this: if somebody goes to you and says, "Hey, we can get Ja'Marr Chase for a number 1 and number 2," would you do it?
He's not coming off injury, yes.
But he's been injured.
He's not come. Was he injured last year? Only played 7 games.
But the year before he was.
Okay, but I'm saying I'm saying the year that just passed. But I'm not giving up a second for a guy that played only 7 games.
But here's the thing that you're not looking at though. The guy's coming off an injury, yeah. Okay, but guess what? That makes him stronger and better. So
does it?
Because again, the ACLs are not as bad as they used to be. Some people say I'd rather have. So let's put it this way. Some people say that I'd rather have a torn ACL than have a high ankle sprain.
Okay. Because then same people, you can still tear the ACL again. Same in the same spot, in the same knee.
But guess what? Again, nowadays it's better because of the technology that goes behind it. And I've seen it.
I mean, I'm not arguing about the technology. I'm just saying if I'm a GM, I could care less about all that. I'm not giving up a second round pick for someone that just came off injury. That's it.
But if you have to be a team that feels they're one great receiver away from challenging. Right. I think that's why Washington traded for Debo. They feel like to get one more guy in there could take them over the top. So,
So yeah, but it was a 5th, not a second.
That's true.
So let me give you the perfect example of how people look at injuries. Remember where Drew Brees was supposed to go?
Yeah.
He was supposed to go to Miami, and the doctor said no. He's not going to yada yada. He goes to New Orleans, and what does he do? He turns it into a Hall of Fame career.
One of his shoulder or something, arm. Shoulder?
Yes, exactly.
Shoulder, yeah.
Okay.
So
that changed the landscape of football because
oh my God, 100%.
Doesn't go back to Alabama, and he's never the greatest college football coach of all time.
Right, 100%.
I get it.
But
I get it.
So let me put you on the other flip side. How about some of these injuries that happen and they're like, oh yeah, we can rehab him. He can come back, and they don't come back. Like a microfracture in the knee. You know? So,
I mean, honestly, you can say everything you want, but if I'm a GM and I'm just speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for nobody else.
Yep.
I'm not giving up a second round pick for somebody that only played 7 games with an ACL injury. I can't do it.
I mean, I hear you though. You know, because you don't really know how he's gonna come back.
But those people take chances all the time, so who knows?
Oh, I get it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, in my opinion, a second round pick is kind of valuable. I cannot give it up for someone that I don't even know if he's going to be ready to start the season.
Well, oh no, he's
when he's going to come back.
Oh no, he's ready. He's ready. He's ready.
Okay.
Yeah, he's ready.
Okay.
Because again, ACL it doesn't take that long to recover from ACLs like it used to. So
yeah, he'll be ready. He'll be ready for camp.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, 100%. So from a veteran to the rookie, what's y'all take on some of these kids going to the combine but not competing? I mean, my thing is, if I'm not competing,
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
What's the point of going?
What?
That's my thing.
Don't get me started.
Why would you? Why? I mean, if you know you're not going to do anything, why are you taking a spot from somebody else?
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
That's my only. If you know you're just going to do the medicals, fine. Just tell them I'm doing medical. Put somebody else in my spot. Because if you're not doing anything, you're taking up, just like LeBron going to the All-Star game, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna sit out. What's the point of going?
Exactly.
You took that spot from someone. You took that spot from somebody else that could have went.
Yeah.
Well, so here's how the combine works. Again, so when I was there, we never had to deal with that stuff whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Everybody showed up. Everybody did what they're supposed to do. Nowadays, it's the agents getting in these people's ears, and it drives me nuts. But there's certain people that they want at the combine, no matter if they're. So the biggest thing is the medical part,
right?
Because because you're not going to do the medical at their pro day, right? But that's why they want them there. But also, too, they want the big names there for the freaking ratings as well.
They made it into a TV event, right?
Right. Yeah, so but OG, I agree with you, because I'm sitting there watching, I'm sitting there watching this stuff, and it's just, and again, me and Kev, we probably have the same lawn chairs on our lawn. Like, get the fuck off my lawn, Okay.
I'll bring the cooler.
Yeah, I will say the only difference is I'll have a shotgun, you'll have an Uzi, Kevin will have a 45. But so that's the only difference.
Allegedly.
It's a family the NFL knows this is nothing new. This is nothing new. Caleb Williams didn't throw last year. CJ Stroud didn't throw. What the NFL should do is open it up to more players, because again, it's their combine. If they know a majority of these guys are going to come for the medical, right, which is the most important, and maybe the meetings, which I think is very important as well, to sit down with these guys and get to know them as men. If Travis Hunter and a couple guys don't run, bring in a guy from a D2 or HBCU or FCS that maybe you don't know, because again, with the technology. I mean, playing devil's advocate, you've seen these guys though. They're gonna go to the pro days. So I some of these guys are just saying, like, put it this way, Shedeur Sanders, right? Look at it from his camp's point of view. I would love to see the kids throw in work, because I think you're a competitor. You want to be an apex predator. I want A-type mentality. I want to be the best at everything. We already said it's not this generation. But if I look at it from the other point of view, hey, listen, I'm here. I'm going to answer the questions. And, now I don't know if this is true or not, but Sanders believes, Shedeur said he's doing it because some of his guys, the Cam Silman Craigs, his brother, A few of the receivers at Colorado did not get invited to the combine. I mean, Jimmy Horn and Webster went. So he's saying, hey, listen, if you're going to come to pro day because you didn't see me throw here at the combine, all the odds are going to be on me. But I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just the game today. The NFL can solve it. Hey, we're not drafting you if you don't come to combine. That would never happen in a capitalist society. But I'm just saying, it's their league. It's a private operation. So it's just, again, if you give me enough cards and you give me enough where I can deal myself. I know that word cards has been used a lot this weekend. That's probably a bad analogy. But if you give me a way, I'm gonna take it. And this has been happening now. It's Shador and Cam Ward didn't start this.
Oh no, but I kind of agree with what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what you said that there should be, like I said, I know you're going for the medicals and the meetings. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
But put that on a separate list.
Yeah, they could do that.
Put them on a separate list, but you still have the competitors that you need. Yeah. I just feel that way because it just seems like if you're not going to go out there and do what you're going to do and you put quote unquote all your stuff on your pro day,
like
let somebody else fill your spot.
But here's right, that's from Virginia Tech, the running back. He played originally at North Carolina A&T, the HBCU product. He came out the combine and he's going to get drafted now. Well, he might not have gotten drafted out the combine. So there's a couple of guys that like, hey, this is my opportunity to go against an Alabama or Georgia or, a SEC team and show I'm made of it. That's to me where the theater's made.
But here's a couple things you guys are I won't say you're forgetting, but you just don't know. So when they started all this crap where they're like, okay, we're not going to throw or we're not going to participate, they expanded the invitations. They expanded the roster. It's more now than it's ever been because they do fill in those gaps.
Mm-hmm. How many per position?
It just depends because right now there's like 300 and something athletes there, like 332. Right. So they've expanded that. But here's my thing about the combine. And it's the agents talking and some of these media people talking. They're like, oh, yeah, well, we understand that, they want to go and they want to throw to their own receivers and, the comfort of their own home. That's a bunch of BS because I want to see how you adjust in a different atmosphere and thrown to different people that you're not comfortable with. That's what I want to see more than anything
competition.
Else. And again, I'm telling you right now, my chair is on my damn lawn.
Okay. Oh shit!
My shotgun.
I'm sorry, sir.
Is in the closet. You're invited here. Damn, throw. Come on now.
How many guys? It's not a majority. It's maybe a handful of guys. I don't think with Travis. I don't think Genty worked out. We know about Cam and Shador, and I know Carter. Well, he got a foot issue. See that to me, and obviously the stuff that we don't see is the most is the medical because all the great are in town, all the everybody's brass is in town, and so I get that part. Obviously, the NFL wants it because the combine wasn't on TV years ago. This was a private audition. This wasn't televised, but now it's a made-for-TV event. So they didn't even have fans in the combine before.
So real quick.
I was about to say that, Kev, because they didn't have fans when I was there. Because so we used to roam around the whole damn place and go talk to other coaches and other people that we know. Now, guess what? A lot of these coaches, I mean, they got a section off, but a lot of these coaches now are in suites because they don't want to be bothered.
They don't want somebody with a cell phone. Oh, look at this team talking, and it goes on Twitter and it's now a big thing. Yeah, and matter of fact, a lot of guys left Saturday. Yes. A lot of coaches left. They didn't even want to, and that's the biggest day of the combine. Normally,
the Rams don't even send their coaches and scouts there anymore. They're like, no, we're good.
We'll go with the pro days and we'll evaluate. We'll do that then.
Yeah. So, or what they do too is because they've watched them so many times, and also too, and I know one of the coaches at the Rams, they said this. It's like, guess what? All the footage we get anyway at the combine, so we can watch it, and we don't have to deal with all this other.
Well, that's why hence some of these quarterbacks don't want to throw. You already got my tape.
But still,
I know.
Audition.
I agree with you. I'm with. We're on the same team.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to play devil's advocate from their point of view. If you got all the tape, you already seen me play. What you need me to throw some more balls? You already seen me throw the 9, the out route. You already seen this.
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
why?
It seems like pro day, right? Because it seems like the pro day is more important than the combine now. And I get it because of the medicals and all that. I get that part. But if you move that to the side, what's the difference?
Well, the difference is because, again, the pro days, you're in their own environment.
Your element, right?
And the thing is, too, is that the NFL cannot control the pro days. The colleges control the pro days.
As far as when you say not control them, what do you mean?
So here's the thing.
Is it really a difference?
Yeah. So when I was at San Jose State, we're the ones that set everything up. We're the ones that said, okay, it's going to be at this time. This is the way we're going to do it. Certain scouts can be over here, here, here. We're the ones that controlled all that. The NFL didn't control that.
Yeah.
Okay. So why we still have the combine then? I mean, honestly, because the pro day seem like now everything's gonna happen at the pro day.
No,
so what's the point?
No, not everything. But here's the thing too, is that the NFL, and this is what I didn't like, because I'll tell you this, because I got into a fight with one of our coaches at San Jose State. We're the ones, we controlled it, and we're like, okay, this person's going to do this drill, this person's going to do this drill. That hurts the kids because the scouts from the NFL, they should be the ones that dictate what they want to see, not us. And so that's why they have the combine, because now you have position coaches, you have the scouts out there that are controlling all the drills, not in the colleges.
Now I get that, but if they're not participating, that throws what you just said out the window. You see what I'm saying? No. What I'm saying is,
it's only a handful.
But that's what I'm saying. If you have certain people that's saying, I'm not doing anything, I'm just gonna wait till my pro day, and if enough people start just going to the combine to do medicals, and everything is on a pro day, what's the point of going to the combine anymore?
Because they can't miss guys. Like Kyle McCord didn't have that luxury. Jackson Dart didn't have that luxury. But a Shador and Cam, who know at best they're gonna be top 10, and maybe they might drop a cup. Oh, well, he didn't compete. I'm gonna drop him off my board. They're gonna get drafted. So again, you got to have some type of assurance that you the guy. Like I know one of the kids I know, Johnny Cornelius from Oregon. He worked out. He don't have that luxury. You gotta go. It depends on where you're at.
But also
okay, so let's just say the top 10. If you're a top 10 prospect, we'll just see you at your pro day. Just come do medicals and leave.
Those are the ones who didn't do it.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
But not all of them. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Again, but again, you have to understand, and this is not knock against any coaches whatsoever. Okay. At certain colleges, there's a reason why some college coaches stay in college. Okay. Now, when you're in the pros, there's certain things that you want to see in some of these, and I will tell you, some of these coaches in the pros, their eyes for detail and what they look for and what they need, that's what they want to see, and that's why they control these drills at the combine. But when they go, and again, it's an ego thing. When you go to a college, to a pro day, and you suggest to one of the coaches, hey, can we see him do this? Some coaches are like, no. You're like, well, wait a minute. We're thinking about drafting your kid, and you're telling me no?
And I get all that, but if it's the take on high draft picks and prospects not participating in the combine, I'm not worried about Joe Smo. I'm worried about the top prospects. So if they're not going, no. I'm just talking about the question. If they're not going to the combine to participate, like you said, they're not throwing to their receivers. You're not going to be throwing to receivers that in the NFL until you get to camp.
Right.
You're not comfortable. All this stuff, to me, no one wants to compete anymore.
No,
that's the bottom line.
No, I won't say there's no one. it's like it's you know what it's like in like Kevin said it's like the top tier.
That's what I'm talking about. That's it. The top draft picks. That's it.
Guys, you got to look at it from this point of view, right? If I'm Cam Ward, right, and I'm listed to be low, I'm not going to go lower than 3, right? What could I improve at the combine? Again, we want these guys to compete. I get that, but if I'm on Cam's team and I'm advising him, like, bro, all you can do is drop. Let's say you have a bad day. Well, he threw horrible at the combine. We got to reevaluate him again. If I'm already in the clubhouse and I know I'm a top 3 and I'm guaranteed that 50 mil, why would I jeopardize that? But now, I mean, it's just a business. It's because it's a business. If you know you at that high, you're the top quarterback in the draft. What do I gain? Now, again, in the days and age of our generation, it didn't matter. I want to be the best. I'm gonna continue. Every time I compete, I'm gonna show you I'm the best. Some of these guys think different, and it's a lot of money at stake. That's all I'm saying.
But Kev, this is the way I look at it. Okay, it's like shooting free throws. Okay, so let's say that you shoot the first one and you miss. You're just like, oh shit, that was bad. Well, now guess what? You get a second bite at the apple, right? But if you skip the combine and you go to just your pro day and you have a shitty pro day,
so you are going to die. No question.
I'm just saying.
That's true. That's fact. That's fact. I guess you look at it from their point of view. It's that, hey, at least I know I'm in my own bed. I'm at my own receivers. I know the practice facility. You know, the apparel fits better because it's the shit I've been wearing all year. I don't know. It's quirky stuff. I agree with you. I want to throw. I like to see the guys.
So do I.
But I try to look at it from a two-edged sword and go, well, baby, like, look, bro, you already top three pick. What could you do to mess that up? You could only mess that up. They know what you do, and we've already got all the tape.
Okay,
but again, let's go back to, let's say it's Cam Ward. Okay, let's say that, I don't know. Let's say it's Kevin Stefanski or whomever. They're on the field and they're like, well, we have questions about your throws to the outbound. Let me see that. Well, he's not doing it at the combine, but then you go to the pro day, and again, you get into some of these coaches' ears and say, hey, we want to see him do this. We're like, well, that's not on the script.
Right.
Well, we don't care. We're here to see how good he is so that we can draft him. And if they're not willing to do that,
for a very minute few, maybe 2 or 3 guys, then don't draft me, because they understand that and that's not it. That's 99.75%. This doesn't apply to. This is that 0.5% that's like, well, all right, well, then the Giants are going to draft me at 3. So, but we know too that some of these athletes have egos. So again, let's go back to the Ryan Leaf, Peyton Manning deal. Everybody's going back and forth. Actually, Ryan Leaf was graded ahead of Peyton. People forget that
until they went to the combine.
Right. But that was a different era, though, T, too.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I'm on my lawn right now.
Right.
Goddamn.
No, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. At what point does any of this really matter? Because, like Kev said, if I'm thinking that way, I'm gonna just double sword. If I'm thinking, why should I throw in my pro day? I mean, at the combine, why should you throw at the pro day? What's the point?
Well, see, but see that then again, you want to see as much as you possibly can, and sometimes I will tell you, and I'll be the first to tell you, sometimes they over evaluate things. But when you've got a player that's 1A and 1B, you want to get as much detail as you possibly can. What's going to be the best. So they want to see as much as they possibly can. That's the thing.
Okay, so if they want to see as much as possible they can, why are you allowing people not to participate at the combine?
Hey, that's
I mean, that's what it's going to boil down to. I hear what both of you guys are saying, and I agree with everything. But it always boils down to T. If that's how they feel, everybody participates at the combine.
Because
Kev, if that's how they feel, why are you participating at all?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it still boils down to that athlete and all of that.
But the players or they camp all letting the NFL know we're not throwing or we're not doing the drills. They do let them know that.
Yeah,
so
they do.
The NFL can come back and say, well, all right, it's just a made-for-TV production now. Let's go grab the kid from Florida A&M just to fill in. They could do that if they wanted to.
They do that. They do that. They expand the roster. But again, once the agents got involved in all this stuff, that's where it got bad.
Has it ever been a time somebody didn't compete in a combine and then the pro day looked like ass?
Oh yeah,
a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it can backfire.
Oh heck yeah, 100%, 100%.
I mean, now don't get me wrong. If you hurt, yes, don't participate. I get that part.
Yeah,
that's common sense. Let's throw that out the window. Right. But if you're not and you're healthy, why don't you want to compete? Why?
Because you know what? To that point you just made. Oh, I didn't understand why what's his name? Scatterboo. Why he didn't do like at least the 40? At least he didn't do nothing. Well, he was just over there in the corner.
That's I don't get now. He's not Aston Genty, right?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why you ain't doing something?
Right, because he had an opportunity to increase, unless he has an injury that we don't know about.
Or at least for running back drills, at least.
But and that's the thing. And I because I haven't seen him. I don't think. Again, I think yes, right. He hasn't done anything. But if you're not injured,
yes,
and but your agent's telling you,
yeah,
and and he's not even. What is he? I think he's ranked number 5.
He's running fourth round at that much, right?
Most of Ohio State running backs at least did the 40.
Yes,
Judkins and Henderson.
I gotta believe. Maybe I don't know. I'm just kidding. He has to have some type of. It had to be something because he's not in that luxury boat.
No, he's not.
But to O's point, then why are you there?
Because
they do the interviews
so let's say if he's injured. That means they sent it out an invitation, even though that they knew that he was injured, but they want to go through the medical.
Right.
That's the thing.
And also, players. I mean, you might have a different. The NFL, getting into the NFL, until you agree with this, I'm sure, it's probably easier to get an FBI job than get. They go back to what you took somebody's milk in kindergarten. So from a standpoint, this is really they know a lot about you. But a coaching staff can come in and say, wow, I didn't know this kid was this enchanting or he was this intelligent. They ask some programs ask you crazy questions to see if you go off your dime. Like remember the situation with Miami when they were asking what's my man who used to play with the Cowboys, Des Bryant about
his mom being a prostitute.
Right. So they ask you crazy things to see where you're at mentally. It's almost like they sit you down, like almost like you kind of work for the FBI. That's how I equate it.
Well,
and so agent, he was different. Go ahead, T.
Well, there's a reason why they hire retired FBI agents
to
do the securities and the background checks because they can find where all the bodies are buried.
I remember I didn't work with this kid since midgets, and I got an email like 7-8 years ago for a player. Oh, could you give us a little, how was his behavior? Like the kid was 8-10 years old. Like, are you kidding me? I don't know how he was 10 years old. Like, what? But I'm just saying, so they do that. Imagine if they did the high school and the college and the ex-girlfriend and the chick you got pregnant in your sophomore year. All this stuff comes out. What's the kid?
I get all that
with the DN. They pulled some out. I forgot the kid's name from Marshall. That one of the Russians.
Williams or something like that.
Right. They pulled some off him like his sophomore year in high school about he got into a fight, and they thought it all type of crazy. So again, they want to bring you in because they want to learn more about you. They want to pick your brain. And I don't there's millions of dollars at stake. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, they'll ask ex-girlfriends. Okay, does he use the small Trojans or does he use Maxims?
Oh, come on.
There you go.
Was he physically aggressive in bed or was he loving? I mean, listen, they got behavioral type stuff that you won't believe. Like I said again, I had the experience of it, and I'm like, so they want to bring you in for the physical, probably number 1, and then the mental number 2. And then the physical, obviously, they already got tape, but they still want to see you compete. It's nothing like watching you do it in my own eyes. So now I heard scouts like, well, I guess I got to go to Boulder I want to see you do a throw. And on the flip side, that's going to help his brother and all the kids from Colorado who didn't make the.
But you know what? But that happens anyway. That's happened a long time ago. You know. So yeah. But also too, this is the reason why they got rid of the Wonderlic test, because it was racially biased.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've sat in meetings where they talk about people's Wonderlic scores, and you know, and we would always say this, like, well, maybe they're not a good test taker, or somebody would say, well, where did they go to school at? Where does that matter? Did they go to public or private school? Who cares? You know.
So to that point about the Wonderlic test, what are they asking on this test?
Oh my God! If they ask anything from
question 10,000 times, and you got to give.
They'll throw in math problems. They'll throw in psychology problems. They'll throw all kinds of stuff in there. They throw in stuff that some people have not been exposed to.
Right. But
it's timed, correct?
I don't think it's timed.
Some are. Some are.
I'm about to say, because I know at one point I thought it was timed because you had so many questions that people weren't answering all the questions.
It's only 50 questions.
Right. Some companies do it too, and again, sometimes you'll get like 7 questions asked in different styles, but it's all the same answer. So if you answer one the same way, not the same way, then that means you have a concentration issue. If you're not answering questions that flow with whatever they spit out, your aggression, you know, whatever it is, you know, because they there's no wrong answer. So it's like, okay, it's just a bunch of questions and it fits a personality.
Well, actually,
I take it for companies. Like in the past, I worked in like, you know, sales organizations that wanted to know. They felt like, oh wow, we put you under this exam. It's going to tell you how it is. And I got so good at it that I just you just you know, clear your mind and just answer it straight without thinking, without any emotion. And it's almost like a lie detector test in certain ways. So
yeah,
it's weird. I'm glad they got rid of it because it doesn't tell you how good a football player I am. And it is biased because everybody's lifestyle and what they've grown up into and how it's different. And I think
but Kev, there is right and wrong answers according to the Wonderlic. Because
what they're looking for. Right.
Yeah, because if you look at like Randy Moss, he scored a 12
right
out of 50.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what they were grading. Like it wasn't like what they looking for. So it's you're taking the test. It's like, you know, it's like 4 questions, 4 answers, and like, oh well, I picked something that best describes me because they say answer it honestly. So,
but here's
so what?
But here's the thing about it. Mm-hmm. It's not that each team goes and looks at it and grades it by themselves. It's just a panel of people get together and it's like, oh no, this is wrong. We don't like this is wrong.
Right, based on their philosophy, what they're looking for.
Right, 100%. Yeah. You know, we drafted a DN linebacker. I think he scored like a 9 or a 10 on the Wonderlic.
Damn.
But this guy could read offenses like no other. He was a great player. But again, he just was not a good test taker.
Yo, remember Alvin from the program? Remember Alvin couldn't read a book, but he could break down defenses.
Oh yeah.
But that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids.
But here's the thing though, is that some people in the NFL would use that saying that this person's illiterate when they're not.
Wow.
You know, they just get anxiety when they take certain tests, or there's certain questions that they're answering that they've never been exposed to before. That doesn't make them a dumb person.
I hate taking exams.
Dude. So
let me ask a question. What was the combine invented for?
Because that's a great question. So the combine used to be actually held in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, Tex Schramm was one of the inventors. He was one of the people that helped create it, right?
Yeah. Because the thing is that not everybody had scouts that could go all over the country, right? So they what they used to have, they used to have regionals, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody, and they said, look, let's put it someplace in the middle. Indianapolis is the middle that had a dome, so that everybody can fly in and get the same evaluations or get to see the same talent.
Mm-hmm.
so they to make it fair, more than for less of better term. So that fair, so everybody has that opportunity to go and see it. So yeah.
So when you heard about a guy from word of mouth, like, oh wow, this kid here at Jackson State, this running back by the name of Walter Payton, he's a great talent, but all we got is these fuzzy films. It was no video, it was film. So now you figure, hey, let me bring this kid in. Let's bring guys in. Let's measure them. Let's see how fast they run. Let's check all their vitals. Every medical staff. Some of these smaller schools didn't have great medical staff, so they didn't know if a kid had a sickle cell trait. We can evaluate. That's why it was designed. But now in this day and age, where everything is like digital and technology and social media, it's like you know these kids before you even meet them. So it's a little different.
So I mean, I get the medical and all that stuff, but is the combine kind of built on competition?
Yes.
Or just a showcase?
No, it's a competition.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's built on competition, why are you not competing?
Because again,
I'm just asking. I'm just.
Here's the thing. Some agents, not all, some. The first thing that comes to their mind is contracts, money. How much am I going to make off of this? So if this person has a bad combine, my percentage starts to drop.
Maurice Claret.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm done. Let's move on. I'm good. That's something I don't get. If it's about competition, let's keep it that.
But keep this energy for the next topic.
No, wait. But let me say one real quick thing, Suave, because I was watching this the other day, and it was the D line. The first person that came up that participated in the D line, I can't remember his name. He basically jogged through the drill. The D line coach who was running it pulled everybody aside, and said, "Run." That freaking kills me. That you're gonna jog through a damn drill.
They too cool, T.
I don't give a damn.
Cool. I'm just saying they try to.
Today's athletes. You're right. Today's athletes, bro. Today's athletes.
But after
they already got a million followers.
Yeah, but after the D-line coach jumped in everybody's ass, you saw a whole different energy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to do that if you're trying to get into the NFL. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
All right.
Money.
Go ahead, Swab. I'm good. It goes back to these kids don't want to compete. So let's move on.
One more thing about the combine. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Swab. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
So my next question.
Yes.
Should Pete Rose already be off the ineligible list?
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. At what point does this still make sense? I mean, okay, yes, he betted. Then you did whatever you did to him, correct? You suspended him, you knocked him off this list. How long is enough? Even some people get out of prison.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm a man of a certain age. Pete Rose is one of my heroes because the way he played, just Charlie Hustle. We're talking about like guys who have like this competing. He destroyed Ray Foster's career in the All-Star game, ran right through him. Like we talking about All-Star games, right? I think again, what he did was wrong, but I think again, it's a time for healing. I think he should be in, just like I think Barry Bonds should be in. Like, how long are you going to keep these things? I mean, again, we know the deal, we know what he did, but listen, baseball, do the right thing. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, the man has passed on, so he can't enjoy it. But do the right thing, put him in the hall.
Well, Kev, I thought you were going to say that Pete Rose was your hero because his wife was 30 years younger than him. So
program.
But you know what I oh geez.
That's why I like Belichick all of a sudden. But
oh my god. But you know what? I agree with you. Here's the thing that I don't like about, and I think we've had this conversation about before, about Hall of Fame and MVPs and all that stuff, because it's basically the writers who do this. And so if you think about, did Pete Rose gamble on baseball? Yeah, but was it games that he was involved in? According to some people, no. According to some people, yes. But, you think about it, if we go back, and I know it's different eras, but if you go back, Ty Cobb shouldn't even be, if you're going to go off stuff like that, Ty Cobb shouldn't even be in the damn Hall of Fame because he was the biggest racist there was.
We always
isn't baseball making money off of betting now?
100%.
Okay.
Everybody
I'm done. I'm just saying, I get it. But if you're making money off of something that you banned this guy for, once you start making money, your ban should be null and void.
If Heisman Trophy gave Reggie Bush back his award,
I was just about to say that, similar to Reggie.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's what I'm saying. At this point, bro, enough is enough.
But even let's go back to Barry Bonds. Okay, when Barry Bonds started so-called using steroids, guess what? The Major League Baseball opened up the window to where they started diluting the test, or they started diluting the percentages. So, and they did a survey. They did a survey with inside Major League Baseball. Okay, so you opened the window for that.
Remember that campaign?
Yeah, but also too, does taking steroids help you hit a curveball? Hell no. So again, they're just they're hypocrites, plain and simple.
Yeah, they made campaigns off it. That McGuire Sosa home run challenge. They knew what was going on. They were all taking it. It was just a handful of guys that weren't doing it. It was all over.
So I was about to say, didn't they make a lot of money? Didn't that save baseball?
Yes.
That summer,
strikes, and they
right.
World Series, and people got tired. That brought them back. Remember that the long ball Nike campaign?
Yeah,
that was all based off the home runs. They knew what the deal was.
Yeah, no, bro, that's why that's what I'm saying that, because it's like, once again, you're mad about something that saved your league.
Right.
I get it, but it saved your league. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I don't care if you was coked up, if you was on every pill that you could find. If you could hit the baseball out the park and we was making money off of it, we're just as guilty as you. So you gotta go in. We just as guilty.
OG.
Drug.
So here's what a lot of people don't realize about baseball, because I've been in a lot of baseball lockers. Baseball players, especially when they have back-to-back games, okay? Some baseball players, here's how they start their day. Big cup of coffee, energy drink, some greenies to keep them going, okay? Some may have a little shot of something, some may have some beers. After the game, they take some reds to get them down. This is an ongoing thing. And where do you think they get the pills from? They're not going out on the street corner to get this stuff. Right?
Right. So once again, if I'm making money and you save my business, by all means, I'm making money off of betting. By all means, Pete Rose, you need to be in the league. You have the stats, so we can't say you don't have the numbers.
Yeah. So the one sport that's kind of had that holier than thou mentality. Like, we've seen guys in the NFL take banned substances and still made the Hall of Fame. NBA. It's just baseball. It's the writers that feel like this holier than thou mentality, and it's like, come on, you got to stop.
That's the problem.
You know why?
T said that's the problem. Why are the writers doing Hall of Fame voting? I still say it should be people that play that sport,
and
they know what to look for.
Baseball writers, they're regional writers. So that means if I'm a writer in New York and I hate this guy in Boston, well, you know what? I'm not voting for him. The Yankees get a lot of that. Oh, I'm not voting. Well, he's not going first ballot. That's a big thing. So it's a clown show.
Well, yeah, but also too, Kev, to your point, the reason why they're holier than thou is because back in the 40s they called it America's sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. And who runs most of this? Not us.
All right, you said the 40s. This is 2025. That shit don't fly no more.
But yeah, but that's the way they still look at it, though.
Oh no, I get it, but I'm just saying, just like the change of times, you have to change your views.
How many people are reading these baseball? These baseball writers are writing for like little one-town newspaper outlets that nobody reads anymore, but they still have a Hall of Fame vote. I mean, again, like that. This is the reason why baseball is taking them a long time to adjust to this new audience, because again, no disrespect, that older fan, that purist is transitioning. So what are you doing for the next generation? It's the reason why you don't see a lot of African Americans in baseball, because they've done a piss poor job of keeping baseball alive in the inner cities. Right. You know, so like it's again, they have an issue. They're trying now with the clocks and the playoff expansions. But when you was top of the game, you always got to stay on offense. You got to continue to get those young players, because those young kids can go play football and basketball and what have you, play other sports. They ain't got to play baseball, and it takes money to play baseball. You got to have bats. Bats break. Do you go with aluminum where that cause more injury? Gloves. I mean, fields. It's a different time, and
you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience too, because I got some family. They in these different leagues here in Chicago, and with that, man, you gotta have patience. It's kind of like a who kind of thing too.
100 years ago, when I was a kid, everybody played baseball.
100 years ago, come on.
Well, almost. Baseball was my number one sport. I didn't start liking other sports until baseball became less accessible. I remember when I go to Yankee games, they used to have bat day. I'm sure the White Sox have it too. They would give bats. They would never do that these days. Give real bats.
Hell no.
Bats to 50,000 people.
Yeah, people crazy. People crazy. Yeah. Somebody be a couple windshields be done busted or something crazy.
We had bad days, but they gave you the little bitty blue ones at Dodger State. They gave you the little bitty ones.
Yeah, the one you can put on your car.
No. They had the mini bats.
I'm saying on your little visor or something.
That's how we got our bats. You go to bad day, Mets and Yankees, get the bleacher seat for $2, and you walk out with a $50 bat.
You definitely ain't getting no seat for $2 these days.
Hat day, all the hats.
You can't even park for $2.
No. That's why I said
and that you probably can't even get it that cheap in Oakland.
Oakland, they was giving away tickets though. They was giving away tickets.
Were they?
Nobody even plays Oakland. You can't get that no more.
But
now I got a question about that. How does a city start to lose all their sports franchise?
Oh, it's easy. That's easy.
What?
The way
I get it.
The way that Oakland the Oakland executives act, the city acts, they think that they should stay here. Like, we're doing you a favor. And I'm sure that, well, I don't know about you, Swab, but I know that OG and Kev has been, they've been to Oakland, because we know OG's got some, he's got some relatives up there. So we know that. We know that. So see, but
all the players play
far and wide. But that's Atlanta. That's Atlanta. That's not a. But they got the sample from there though.
But so they have this section called Jack London Square, where it's right on the water. Okay, the A's for years wanted to develop that and move the park down there. The city held them hostage, and so. And again, if you ever been to like the Oakland Coliseum, where the Warriors and the A's both play, that's not a great neighborhood. There's no good restaurants to go to. There's no good hotels, and they wanted to help build that area up. But again, the city council held them for hostage. And it was like, you know what? Yeah. We got these other cities that are offering us this. We're going to go across the bay. We're going to leave. It's bad when Oakland A's right now, where they're playing? They're playing in the AAA park in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. A AAA park. It's going to be home run derby up in that piece.
Yeah.
I mean, because you lost football teams over and over again.
Right.
The Warriors move across the water to San Francisco. Now you lose baseball.
Yeah, but even okay, this I won't blame on Oakland, but I'll blame it on the Giants. So when the Giants came out here, okay, the Oakland A's owned all the Bay Area. They had the rights. So when the Giants came out here, they said, okay, we're going to give you the rights to the South Bay and into San Francisco. They're like, okay, great. When the A's said that we've got a deal to move down to San Jose, the Giants blocked it and said, no, we own that territory. We're not going to open it up to you. And they're just like, really? Like, you're going to do this to us? And the deal would have been great. I saw where the park was going to be, everything.
How do you own the territory? I'm sorry. How do you own the territory?
Because of the baseball rights, certain teams have certain territories that they have the rights to. That's just in Major League Baseball. Okay. Well, actually, it's in all the sports.
Yeah.
But for the Giants to say that, and we know that this is a shared revenue organizations.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And you know that you're already losing fans in Oakland?
That Coliseum was a time when you had to check in to get into that neighborhood.
Dude.
You had to check in.
Players alike.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well,
it wasn't just the audience. Players checking in too.
Yeah, but again, you guys know Oakland. If you miss an exit to the Coliseum, oh, good Lord.
Bye.
No, your kids are going to see things that they never should until they're adults.
That's why I said bye. Ain't no turning around.
I've been to that stadium twice in my life, and one of the few times in my sports experience, let's go to watch an A's game. I saw a rat in a baseball stadium. It was in Oakland.
Oh, Kev, you just saw one? You didn't see the family of rats running around the game?
I didn't stick around and see the colony. I'm like, oh shit, rats.
well, now that you. But if you stop and think about what Kev just said, that's kind of ironic that you're from New York and you had to go to the West Coast to see a rat at a baseball game.
I never saw a rat at Shea or Yankee Stadium, but I saw it in Coliseum.
Hey, and that rat was wearing an A's
fan too.
Yeah, that rat was wearing an A's jersey too. It was like,
he had number 9 Reggie Jackson on. He had to
exactly.
Wow.
But also too, let's I mean, we can blame it on the city, but we blame it on the A's as well, because, and I know this for a fact, the owner of the A's told Reggie Jackson, Dave Stewart, and Ronnie Lott that he will sell the team to them, and I think they said they would give him $10 million over asking price.
Mm-hmm.
The owner went back on the word because Ronnie and those guys, they had a deal in the works where the city finally caved in and said, okay, you guys can move to Jack London Square. We're gonna you guys can renovate the park. The owner went back on his word.
Mm-hmm.
So
haven't they been saying they was going to reinvent it? They was going to redo that since the '80s, since the Raiders were there.
Oh, dude, good Lord!
The first second time.
Well, because again, they try to hold these teams at hostage, and you're dealing with a guy like Al Davis. Please, he's like, your word was this, and you're going to say this. Like, no, I'm good. So yeah,
it's unfortunate. It was a great sports town.
Oh my God!
Just
I mean, yeah, and you guys know this. There was days where you could go to an A's day game, sit around and walk across, and then go watch the Warriors play because there's right there. It's like Suave. It's like you going to your neighbor's house to get a cup of sugar or whatever you get from your neighbor. I don't know what it is, but it's right there.
Substance.
But it's right there. So yeah. And plus, the Coliseum would get some great concerts. Because there was no great venue like the Coliseum in San Francisco. They had the smaller venues. So, yeah, So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah. At least I've heard today the Raiders are going to go back to Napa for training camp. So,
dude,
people in the Bay can experience that.
Dude. They stay at this Marriott. Okay, that's right in the center of Napa.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk out to the field. But you're in freaking Napa Valley. You've got all the wineries there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's crazy how their training camp was set up compared to when I was with the Niners. We were in Rockland, which is right outside of Sacramento, and as hot as bejesus. And then we went to Stockton. We went to freaking Stockton. Stockton at the time when we were there was the number one. Huh?
University Pacific?
Yeah, UOP. Yeah. Stockton at the time was the number one city for car thefts.
Yeah, that in Richmond, murder capital.
Yeah. But again, you're in Napa Valley.
Yeah, they're going back.
You know what? Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. And that Marriott is nice, by the way. That thing is, that's smoking. We were staying in dorms.
Yeah. It's be a lot of red wine on that practice field. Never mind. Let me stop.
A lot of grapes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. A lot of Chardonnay going on. And you know what comes along with these fine wines. You get them groupies.
Fine women.
You get them groupies. Mm-hmm.
Well, they do have Tom Brady in their front office, so this.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's not gonna make it better.
And Pete Carroll thinks he's 45, so make it work.
And Pete likes himself some good cabs. So there you go.
Oh, he made the move.
Oh, hell. You know what? And I could be wrong on this, but I think I'm pretty right. Pete has property up in Napa.
He does, yeah. He's in the wine business.
Well, yeah, because you remember he started here.
Right.
He started here.
Well,
yeah.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense then.
As Charles Woodson's got a winery up there too.
Oh, okay. So here's a good story about Pete Carroll. Because Pete Carroll was the DB's coach, defense coordinator here at the Niners. The reason why he didn't get the Patriots job, he was like the number one guy to get the Patriots job back in the day. His agent over-negotiated the contract and started asking for too much. And so then he didn't get the job. And then I think Parcells got the job, if I'm not mistaken.
And they came back to Pete after Parcells, yeah.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the famous jet coach of the famous fake spike by Marino that we lost the game at the. I was at that game. Yeah,
Were you really?
He was our head coach then.
Yeah,
and the players loved Pete. There was a story about that year. They was stuck in Detroit. It was a preseason game, and they had to go to like a Fridays or Applebee's, some convenience restaurant. And Pete Carroll was helping the waiters hand out food to players.
Yeah.
I remember that story because my father used to sell cars. I forgot who the player told the story. I was a kid. But I'm like, wow, this showed what type of man this was.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually helping the wait staff give out food. So it shows, and I don't think he's ever changed. And even when he got the Raiders gig, and people talk about how, the Super Bowl when he handed the ball off to Marshawn, and there must be some gripe. Marshawn Lynch, the first guy to hug him.
Yeah.
So it says a lot about Pete, and I'm not a Raider fan, but I'm rooting for Pete Carroll this year. I'm rooting for him.
All the people that I know that coached under him or that played under him, I have not heard one person say a bad thing about Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
at all. And here's the thing about Pete Carroll too is that he doesn't get, in my opinion, he doesn't get enough credit for this. He's a smart guy. He's like a really smart guy, but he also knows what the fans want because look what he would when he went to USC. Was one of the first things that he did.
Right. Boy, all the stars. And they didn't want him at USC. He was not their first pick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But they had
two guys to win on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're right. Like Jimmy Johnson and him, only two that won championships on both levels?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they're the only ones that came from college that had been successful, right, in the NFL. Those two. So
So, Kev, we didn't get your opinion on this, but me, T, and OG talked about it. I want to say last week, maybe. Mm-hmm. What you think about all this DEI? All these companies going away from DEI and all that. And I saw yesterday my university. I didn't go there, but I root for them. Closed their DEI office.
Who? Ohio State?
Yep.
Listen,
no, Friday. They did it on Friday.
I'm not gonna, because it'll rile me up, so I'm not gonna get in. We like to keep it light.
Forget that. Go ahead, Kev.
Hey.
It's really
in 5 minutes you can talk about it amongst us, whatever you choose.
I just think it's disrespectful that when Trump's first reign of terror, it seemed like corporations were defying. It seems like what we have now in 2025 is people just have the kiss in the ring.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily know why, you could talk about that. You could talk about what happened in the White House Friday with Zelensky. All these things, what the technology companies are doing, all these things are trickle downs. And I'm the type of person, and I'm a believer that, hey, listen, you vote for, right? That's your opinion. I got people I know that are starch MAGA, right? And people who are starch left. But all I ask you to do is don't tell me what your lying eyes are not telling you.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's telling you something and you're seeing something, believe it.
Yep.
Now I don't know about you guys. I have some portfolio stuff, and every day Empower is sending me letters. I'm scared to open up the damn emails and open up the account because they said, "Oh, there's some change in your account," and I'm not 25. So the reality is that for people who voted for a person who told you who they are and what they're doing, I really can't knock the candidate, right? It wasn't like he lied. He told you what he was going to do. Yeah. You, in turn, believed that he wasn't going to do it. Now, again, I can understand there's a demographic of people that might say, hey, you know what? You guys, I don't go for that. Maybe they have an agenda, and that's for another day, another time. But for people who benefited, minorities, women, gay and lesbian, all these disabled. If you're gonna sit back and say, well, you know what? Oh, I'm going for this guy when he told you what he was gonna do, did you not believe him? So when it's happening, don't tell me about like people now have voters remorse. I don't want to hear it. Or the ones that said, oh, I didn't like none of the candidates. Or the ones who are saying, oh, Kamala's not black enough. I don't want to hear it no more. Because again, you're the people who are asleep at the wheel. You're the person who would rather talk about who's dating who or what restaurant to take your girl to or not take her to than talk about what's real. And while, yes, I do a show, we have a good time, there's got to be a time where you have to look at what's real and what's not real. Whether you have kids, whether it's your job, whether it's your elderly parent, whether it is, your wife or your husband or your, whatever it is, start voting with your mind and not with the party. Stop thinking these things are trivial and it's about who gives the most one-liners, and that's who I'm going to vote for because he's hanging out with Kodak Black at the White House. No, this is not a joke. This is real life. And I talk to people all the time. I'm like, you don't even know what's going on. You picked a president based off his Twitter comments? You're stupid. And then the world is laughing at us. And they're even laughing at us even more. Now our national security is at threat. So, hey, you got a passport. You think it's slick to go some country. Well, good luck trying to get back with national security at an all-time low. I don't want to get into it no more. But to answer your question, it's a horrible situation. And hold on for dear life the next 3.5 years.
But, Kevin, to your point, here's the thing with, because I look at DEI and abortion, okay? people are not doing their research because when it comes to DEI, all they're looking at
is a black thing, and it's not.
Well, they're looking at people of color and women. Okay,
right.
It goes deeper than that, as we know.
Yes.
And same thing with abortion. People think, oh, those people are having babies and they're killing the babies. Well, guess what? Some women have to have abortions to stay alive. So they're just looking at what's in front and what these politicians are telling them, and they're taking their beliefs, these politicians, and putting it in their faces, and people are believing it. They're like, oh yeah.
The reason they're doing that is because the individual is not reading. We are at an all-time high when it comes to getting information.
Yes.
AI, internet, apps. It's us. We're dumb. We've dumbed down ourselves.
Well, wait. Don't throw us in the mix. Throw those other people in the mix.
Well,
okay.
I'm just saying society. Society. We've dumbed down ourselves. And again, like I said, information at an all-time high. I can pick up this thing right here, and I can get anything I want.
Yes.
Myself. I can read anything that's public record.
Yes.
So now when they take it away from you, because that's the threat, when you start getting in bed with the techies, what's they going to do? They've already taken off the Gulf of Mexico and made the Gulf of America on Google. If you look at the Google map. So what I'm trying to say is that we're to blame. You know, people, my vote doesn't matter. You know, hey, listen, it does matter.
Well,
and now when they take it away from you because a man says he wants to be king, what are you going to say then?
Well, okay. So, you go back to national security, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but you see what Norway said? Norway said that the United States cannot use their fueling stations for their ships and submarines now. That put us at a damn disadvantage because of everything that Trump and his cronies have done. When you're sitting down with Russia, okay, how do you let a Russian-based newspaper into the Oval Office, but you can't let the Associated Press in there?
Yeah.
That tells you something right there.
But that's the problem people's thinking, T. Oh, America. We don't have anything. You travel, you get imports, cars. A lot of folks don't drive American cars. Well, how do you think those prices are going to be affected now? Dodos?
Okay, so to that point, and I told OG and Swab this, that I got a list of companies.
Then I'm going to end the live. Go ahead,
okay.
T.
But I've got a list of companies that have done away with DEI that I won't even shop in anymore. Like Target's one of my favorites. I'm like, you're gone. So I go to CVS today. Okay, I buy 3 items, $30 for body wash, lotion, and what else did I get? Oh, I got floss. $30.
Damn.
Because of these damn tariffs. They're adjusting for all these damn tariffs.
$12, a good body wash, a good lotion that's maybe really deep and enriched, another 10, 12, $15.
Right.
And even the floss is like $4 or $5.
It's even more than that now, Kev. The only thing that I saw that hasn't hit with the tariffs that haven't affected was Girl Scout cookies. I'm just saying.
And Saratoga water. That's it.
All right. Hey, on that note, we gone. He just had to. He just.
Listen, real talk. If you're buying that Pellegrino or that Avian, all that stuff is imported. Get that Saratoga, baby.
We'll see y'all next week on that note. Later.
Dear Park.